I mean, this is hearsay. I never took the time to really research it and dive in. But I hear how like they would like chop people's arms off and shit. If I guess if they weren't conforming and submitting to him and his people. So I don't know. It's just some fucked up shit. But yeah, fuck that guy. Today we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Rated G. I'm your host, G Terado. For those of you who are new here, welcome to the show. This is an art podcast where I sit down with fellow local artists and creators from all around, and we simply sit down, have honest discussions and conversations. And, sometimes we just sit around and bullshit because, who likes to talk about work all the time? So if you enjoy this content, please be sure to subscribe on podcast platforms and on my YouTube channel, and be sure to ring that notification bell. That way you can keep up with all the current uploads. And be sure to check out the show notes. That way you can follow the social media links for myself as well as my guests, in case you want to come follow us and our journey on the social medias. And and of course, let's not forget our returning guests. If you're coming back, welcome back to the show, and thank you for your continued support. Be sure to spread the word. So no guests today, just flying solo. Figured, I've had a good run with a lot of great guests, a lot of returning guests. And, I like to shake things up and sit down alone with you guys. So I'll try to keep this as short as possible, which means, it's really not that short. But I figure I'd just share a couple updates and what's going to be coming up. But I should address that today is Indigenous Peoples Day. That's right. Because fuck that guy, Chris.
Oh,
Right?
shit!
But interestingly, I came across an article that I saved a while back. An article I think I came across this past summer, and the headline it says Native Americans may have originated from China, says new study on 14,000-year-old human fossils. Now, I mean, I'm a skeptic, so I don't know. I don't know like how much of this may be actually true, but I still think it's interesting.
Help me!
So let me check out this article because I kind of went over it real quick just to see some of the key parts. What they did was here. Let me just read it.
My God!
I'm not fucking butchering it. Researchers compared the genome of the bones to people from around the world and came to the conclusion that they matched those of an individual deeply linked with East Asian ancestry. A team of archaeologists proposed that some people from southern East Asia had traveled north along the coastline of present-day eastern China and crossed the Bering Strait between the continents of Asia and North America. So while a previous finding proved that modern Native Americans came from Asia, the recent findings narrowed down from which parts of Asia they may have originated. So I don't know. I think that's pretty interesting. Because like, who the fuck knows, right? Like, I think just as time goes on and these archaeologists, all these researchers, like the further they dig in, the more they learn, and it's pretty crazy. So Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So, and my whole thing with like, I mean, if you're familiar with the podcast, you know who I am or have an idea of who I am. I don't know why I'm even bringing that up, but if you follow this podcast, you know I'm quite a skeptic of uh advanced technologies and especially algorithms. It's a very it's a repeating topic on the podcast as well as my artwork. Uh, well, actually, no, just my podcast. My artwork reflects the dystopian reality with integrated technology. But yeah, now I feel like now that I've you know opened this article and interacted with it, like read it and all this stuff, I'm just gonna keep getting like articles uh and like headlines relating to Native Americans, which is fine. It's just it's like one of those things about like the algorithm. It's it's both. It's a double-edged sword. It's very useful in which that it collects the data on the things that you engage with. So that's why we're like, oh, our phones are listening, blah 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 blah, and then you get like the pop-ups and all this stuff relating to the thing that you interacted with. And but while that's nice and convenient, sometimes you just get flooded with the negative side of it. So like for example, um I don't know, like I don't know what thing I clicked on or reacted to, whatever, but because I've expressed in the past how I've wanted to get back into learning more and about my own culture. I'm Filipino. I'm born and raised here in the U.S., so I always say I'm American Filipino. Uh, but yeah, I must have you know clicked on something involved, just talking about um Philippine culture, the Asian culture. But now I just now I all I see on my, especially on like my Facebook feed, um again, I'm seeing all this like Asian hate and all this stuff. So I'm like, fuck, man. So that's why I'm very skeptical of algorithms. But anyway, hey, Indigenous Peoples Day. I wish I had more fun facts. Usually I would like to do fun facts on holidays like this, but whatever, like I said, fuck Chris Columbus. That guy's got a dark ass history, during their travels and you know discovering all these parts of land and all that. Fuck that guy. I've heard some crazy shit. I mean, you can look it up. There's like stories about him and his people sort of like when they would land somewhere and I guess like kind of like take over or whatever, they would fuck with the people. They would I'm like hearing I mean, this is hearsay. I never took the time to really research it and dive in, but I hear how like they would like chop people's arms off and shit if I guess if they weren't conforming and submitting to him and his people. So I don't know. It's just some fucked up shit. But yeah, fuck that guy. Today we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. Anyway, moving on. I got a couple exciting bits of news. Lately, I've been trying to be more involved with the community as always, but more on the art galleries, and I'm trying to get my foot in there with some group exhibits. So I been involving myself with this um this one gallery called Artworks Inc. And they host all these great exhibits with their local artists, and they I think like a lot of places they have like their first Friday shows and whatnot. And they had one in particular called the All Media Show, which they do every fourth Friday. And I jumped right in as soon as I saw an opportunity. And I was able to be part of the August All Media Show. And I've been submitting my Tech Utopia pieces like little by little. Like I'll do one or two pieces to submit, and I've been uh, fortunate enough to have been able to display one of these pieces. I've only done a couple, so it's not like I've been doing this for a while. I did the August one, and I'm currently part of the September All Media Show, which is going to be up until October 21st. And not only that, there's other separate solo artist exhibits that are there. Actually, recently they had the reception for I keep forgetting his name, Lee something. He is I believe he's a sculptor. Yeah, he has I don't believe I saw the shit. I was there. I decided to stop by with my wife and check it out because I missed the August one. So I was like, all right, I need to like check this spot out. See the turnout, see like how many people show up to these things. Um, it was a quick pop in. I just wanted to check out the vibe and of course see my work up and just see all the other exhibits. But it was great. It was pretty packed. Um, I got a little bit of footage, like a very short clip. I made it on the wall.
Even though I was trying to do it years ago.
Yeah, we walked around, checked out all the work. I mean, there's so many talented people here. And what I love about Artworks Inc. is that um, there's just so much variety of artists and their styles. So it was nice to see that because I was scared. Like I've talked about it before. I've been hesitant on showing more of the Tech Utopia work because I just wasn't sure how well it would be received. And thankfully, having done some of the art festivals and the local markets, people have been intrigued by the works that I've displayed, and I mean I've sold some prints of some of the popular pieces, and even some of the original ink work that I did. That's sort of like part of the Tech Utopia narrative, and yeah, so now trying to get my foot in the door with these exhibits, and hopefully one day, like, because that's been one of my main goals coming here to Richmond, was that I want to be able to have my own exhibit to present Tech Utopia. So I'm a 1 foot closer to getting to that goal. I think it's just a matter of finances now. So yeah, I'm just gonna save up and then see how much space I can purchase. I mean, I don't need a lot, and that's the beauty about this gallery, is that they have a lot of like smaller rooms and sections throughout the gallery, and it's much bigger than it looks like from the outside. If I'm being honest, like I don't know, the building doesn't look that big, but once you walk in, oh man, it's just like so many, there's so many so many ways to go through. So it was cool. And I figured, hey, if I'm gonna try to, especially with artworks, I'm like, if I'm gonna try to be as involved with artworks, I'm gonna apply for a membership. So that's what I did. I became a member, and there's nice little perks with that. So I'm pretty excited. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm really excited. It added a little more fuel to the fire, and you know, getting back to some of the some of these uh, you know, work in progress pieces. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens like next year, you know. Um, there is also another uh group group show that I'm a part of. It's called the Creatures of the Night, and it's uh, held at the Camel, which is a live music venue. And that one, I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but I guess that's like a thing now, or that's a thing here. Having um, group art shows at bars, like cafes, music venues, and such. So trying to do a little more of that. Again, I'm just trying to get my work out there now, and thankfully it doesn't cost nearly anything. So as opposed to trying to get on board with these artisan markets, uh, I mean, even just trying to get on the list, getting my application accepted alone has been I don't want to say tough. You know, I mean, I might just be impatient also because I'm sure so much work that goes into putting those things together. So, I'll blame it on my impatience, but it is tough trying to get my foot in the door with that. And I've spoken to a lot of vendors, uh, especially artists, like visual artists, and it's the general consensus is that it takes a while with certain or organizers, market organizers. Like one vendor told me, and they made jewelry, and it took them 3 years, 3 years to finally get accepted and be a vendor. And I'm like, fuck, I don't I don't have 3 years. Like I remember back in Jersey, for the Trenton Punk Rock Flea Market, it took a while to get my foot in there, in the door with that. Well, I keep saying foot in the door for some reason, but it took a while to be able to continually be a vendor at their events. But then once I was in, so I don't know. I'm sure that's the same thing here. I guess I just lost that patience because I'm ready to go. But anyway, back to Creatures of the Night. That's the and I should point out, I'll share pictures, but there are other great artists that are a part of that group show, and it will be up for the remainder of October, I believe. So any residents of Richmond, Virginia, if you haven't already, be sure to swing by Artworks and the Camel. Check out the artists that are uh part of those shows, like myself. You want to check out my work. But yeah, so that's been fun. And kind of again with the artisan markets, I don't know how much. Like I kind of feel like I may have blacklisted myself a little with the markets that I'm trying to get in on, because I tagged them in a post, um It was a post by actually Trenton Punk Rock Flea Market because they had one of the recent ones. It was held indoors because they would usually do outdoor ones, and I guess they decided to take it inside. And they had some great features in there. And yeah, just someone on their team was live streaming, so I saw the vendors, I saw their layout and everything, and I just started to get it, getting all the feels and like nostalgia, the excitement. Um, and I was like, man, I commented, I was like, man, I miss Trent so much. Like, even before I moved out, I was like, damn, I'm gonna really miss it. And I decided this was kind of like on impulse, but I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna tag. I tagged all the like all the Richmond artisan, you know, makers markets, all of those accounts, and I tagged them. I'm like, yo, like like maybe take some notes on this because you get to see like the outcome, the result. One of my arguments on a previous podcast was that there's so many pop-ups that I feel like it sort of devalues the actual event. Like literally, like every weekend, there's at least four, markets happening at the same time, and it kind of saturates the whole thing. So I was, I was saying, hey, maybe do one, bi-weekly or once a month. It'll probably add more value to that event, which will then probably have a better result for the vendors because a lot of these vendors, right? This is like their income. So, you know, I mean that's my thinking. I've a couple of fellow artists had agreed, like, yeah, less is more, right? And I think uh in this case. So yeah, I tagged all those market accounts, and I mean I don't know if they've seen it or not. That's the thing too. I would reach out to them, and again, I'm mindful of you know these people have lives outside of their accounts, so I'm sure they're busy doing other things, but it just like when they do respond, man, it's like way later. you know, to the point where I've forgotten, sometimes I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even realize I, messaged them or commented on a post regarding the vendors list. I'm like, oh shit, okay. like it seems like they wait till, well, I don't want to say they wait till, but they don't respond until very close to the actual event date. So I don't know. I don't know if that's just reluctance or just too busy, whatever it is. I'll just have to accept it and just say, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm gonna. I don't know how many I'll be doing. I mean, yeah, it definitely helps with sales. It is like the only time I actually make sales is when I do markets or festivals. Uh, it's super rare that someone makes an online purchase. I do have an online store. You can you know, check out the links and in the description here. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I really have like no plans in trying to hit every artisan market, so we'll see. But your boy's got to make some money. That's the hard part, you know, um, is just making that paper. And I had a side gig, um, doing junk removal, but that job is pretty much non-existent because my boss I've talked about it a couple times, but my boss, he recently had his daughter was born, and then he decided to buy another house, to fix it up and flip it. And this dude, he's like a workaholic. He's always, his brain is always thinking of like what he can do. Um, and I remember him mentioning getting a second house, and I right then and there I'm like, oh no, this is gonna slow this business down for sure. He's overworked as is, with his regular job, and now he's trying to start a business, and he has a daughter now, and he bought a second house that he's dealing with. So I don't know. I mean, I could reach out. That's the thing too. Like, I don't want to play victim here, right? I could always just reach out when I need money, but I don't know. My thinking is like, dude, like I I've always offered to help too. Like we've always had these discussions. I always tell them, hey, you need help. You know, you need help to with the house, or for the junk removal gig, like just hit me up, man. Let me know. Like I work here. If I'm not working with you, I'm working at home. So I tell them a bunch of times. I'm like, dude, just let me know. Let me know like a day ahead, and I'll come through. So yeah. I don't know. I just don't like the idea of like, because he would say, hey, if you need some extra money, like, just like hit me up, or hit my brother up, because his brother does landscape, and I've done a few landscaping jobs with his brother. Um, but I'm just like, I don't know. It's like, dude, you're my boss, man. like, like if there's something that comes up and you're like, oh, like I'm gonna need my guy for this. Um, he has my number, so I don't know. It's again, it is what it is, and I'm just gonna keep hustling and keep hustling. Um, recently, I I put out another Bitch Fest episode. That's right, Bitch Fest 3.0 made a comeback, but with a brand new roster. So this was really exciting. Uh, had no idea what the outcome would be like, because I had two of my guests were they've been on this show multiple times. I'm talking about Jenna Davis and Kali Smith, and I was like, because when I had them on the show individually, I kind of I proposed the idea of doing Bitch Fest with them. So I created a group chat, and we set it up, and we you know and we did it, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, unless they're telling me something I don't know, but I think overall it was a good, fun experience. It was nice seeing two people that I know that don't know each other, and seeing how just seeing how well they interact with each other. Um, and it was fun. They both do different things with their craft. Jenna is, if you don't know, Jenna Davis is she's a graphic designer, illustrator, and a jeweler. Uh, that's like her main thing right now. She does these little food jewelry, like earrings, necklaces, and they're really cute, and I like them. And I'm considering commissioning a necklace. Uh, and Kali Smith does like it's like punk rock. I don't know, like kind of like punk rock, cutesy, like little pinup characters with like these like sayings, like um and yeah, it was cool, and it's funny because we're all part of a different generation. We're actually like we're all in like the last legs of each generation. So yeah, it was interesting. Um but now, having done the bitch fest with them, there was a topic that we got into, and it's about, it was about having our followers um interact with our posts, uh, mainly stories. Now, I rant about this shit all the time, um, but it was nice to kind of like hear their end of it. Um, but yeah, that whole discussion and everything, it's still stuck with me, and I did something that I'm not necessarily proud of, but it was a desperation move because again, I struggle with this thing like all the time, all the time, and um, and that is in my stories. I'll sometimes do a post with the suggestion box, if I'm trying to decide on something, but it's always nice to hear suggestions, um or like anything, like questions, comments, whatever. And I always try to give my followers, my audience, the opportunity to tap in and just like, put their 2 cents in, but they never do. They never do. Same thing with polls. I'll post up a poll regarding something if I'm having a hard time making a decision, and like, I'll check the views, see who's seeing my stories, and it's always the same group of people that go through all my stories. Whether, I mean, not that I'm saying they actually like intently look at each story. I kind of just think they're just tapping away just to get through it so that my fucking circle icon goes away on the top of the screen. But I'm always seeing like the same group of people that are my close friends. People, some people I grew up with, went to school with, like, people I've known for years. And you know, granted, they're not proactive on social media like I am. I'm trying to push my business out. Theirs is more casual. Um, but still, right? Like, it doesn't take a lot of effort to commit, right? It costs no money, right? Like we've been fucking bitching about that like throughout the podcast. A lot of episodes we talking about that shit. Like it costs no money to hit like, to comment, to share. It None of that. It's not like we're asking you to commission something from us. All we're asking is, hey, can you just like, you know, hit like, or share? And I often get to this point, especially if I'm really trying to work on something. I get to this point of, when I'm trying to engage with my audience, and I get real desperate. It's sad. It's like it's pathetic. I get real desperate, and I'll even say in my stories, I'm like, help your brother out, like, you know, just please share, like whatever the message is. I try to really emphasize, like, yo, please, like I'm not getting anything from anyone, so can you please, spread the word or whatever. So I got to the point of like, all right, this shit is just not working. No matter how desperate I come off in the post. So I messaged uh like a handful of these people that I know go through my stories, and I just said, hey man, like, to all of them, like, yo, like, help your boy out. Like, I need to make some money. Please, like, can you just share this video, or or whatever it is. Please share it in your stories, spread the word. Otherwise I'm gonna start sucking dick for art materials. you know and then, needless to say, it worked. They fucking did it. And I'm just, again, like why? Like what? Like is that the case now? Do I have to privately reach out and say, "Hey, can you share this on your page?" Because like I do that in my stories. I try to be, I say it in my stories. I'm like, "Yo, please share this, blah blah blah," and then I see they see it. All right, they see each story that follows, right, and then nothing, and you know, and I feel bad because like I get on my wife's case about it, you know, and I tell them like, "Yo, like nobody does this for me, like I don't need everybody to do all of my like to keep doing favors for me, but it's like, if I'm really like if I'm trying to push commissions, like please, like just, share it in your stories. Maybe there's somebody that's like looking for a piece of art to decorate their home or to gift it to somebody." So, I get real passionate about it and emotional because I'm like, I can't even get my wife to do that. And I don't want to, you know, I don't want to make her look bad. She's, it's just not in her wheelhouse. And I'm sure, like, oh, okay, like maybe that's the case for like all these people too. But I don't know, just like when you see the desperation on the screen in the post, wouldn't that wouldn't that kind of give you the nudge to be like, all right, maybe I'll just hit share? You don't have to write anything. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just hit that share button and then that's it. So, yeah, it's like, do I have to do that now? Like, I have to call out individually these people to be like, yo, can you share? Can you do this, do that? Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel good. Like, I'm not proud of it. All right. But it had to be done. And it worked because I did that. And it's like, I I guess that's the new method. I don't know. So, like, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, right? There are sometimes I'll see other artists post, if they have like a poll for votes or a suggestion box, like if it does, like if I literally have no relation to that thing, like no opinion about it, yeah, I've skipped through them. Um, I've said this during Bitch Fest with the girls. Like I talked about it with Jenna. I'm like, yeah, there are times where she'll post up a poll and I won't have an opinion on either of the choices, but I'll still I'll comment on that post and be like, hey, how about this instead? Or this is my thought, instead. I think again, it just that little bit of, you know, um, investment helps. And it doesn't cost you any money. It just costs you a few a few taps on the screen. So I don't know. I don't like bitching about it by myself. But anyway, that's what I had to do. Again, I'm not proud of it, but it worked. So, all right. So moving on. Actually, I have a hot take. Uh, I want to talk about briefly, and that's the disrespect on chicken. That's right, chicken as a food, not chicken like the animal. Chicken as a food. Uh, these dumbass TikTokers have created a new challenge that's now going viral to the point where the FDA is now getting involved and warning these people not to conform and to participate in this challenge, and that is the NyQuil chicken challenge. What the fuck? How are you gonna disrespect chicken like that? It's delicious. Why would you cook it in NyQuil? Well, I'll tell you why. These fucking kids are trying to up the ante, um, with the with this thing. So it's basically the modern. It's like the new way of robo tripping. Now I kind of feel old bringing that up. 10 years ago, when I was in college, I robo tripped for the first time with my roommate, and basically you're drinking a huge amount of Robitussin, and you start to hallucinate. Now, I will say, I did consume a little more than suggested for the result. My roommate couldn't handle the taste anymore, and we mixed it. I remember we mixed it in Pepsi or something, and or like cherry Pepsi or something like that. And it it made it a little easier to drink it, but my roommate still couldn't handle it, so he kind of gave me the rest of his, and I don't know how much left of it was, but that shit definitely pushed me over the edge because it was such a dark experience, um, and an emotional. It was an emotional roller coaster. Like I remember, and you know what? It was dark as shit because we had the lights off. For some reason, we decided to robo trip with the lights off. Um, but yeah, man, my fucking roommate, he ends up passing out. So I don't even think he got to like hallucinate. But me, shit, I was fucking up and I was bugging the fuck out. Uh, I remember like this. Oh, this stuck with me. I remember explaining it in this way. It felt like I felt like Godzilla was like trying to step on me. Like I was just trying to hold its weight up and not get squished. And like that's what it felt like every time I got up to go pee or like hang out at my desk. But I just remember just like I couldn't stand straight up. Like if I felt so heavy. And then I remember towards the end of that night, I was watching. I don't know why I decided to, but then I ended up watching Dragon Ball GT. It was like one of the last episodes, and I got really emotional because of the episode I was watching. Um, and yeah, it was just weird. I was just like crying to Dragon Ball GT, fucking in the dark, and my roommate's passed out in his bed, and I'm trying to remember what the episode was about. It was like Goku's great great grandson or something, and he was on this journey, I think, to find um the it was the 2-star Dragon Ball, either the 2 or the 4-star Dragon Ball. And he like along his journey, he's going through his trials and tribulations, and he comes across a friend, and then they go off together, um and then something happens, and like something happens to his friend, and it kind of they allude it to like, oh, like I mean, they didn't, like it's not like they made it look like he died, but he falls down like some deep hole or something, like. And I just remember being like so upset about that. And I remember crying. And I think he comes back. I might have to find this episode. But yeah, I just remember when he lost his friend, I was so devastated. I started crying, and I'm just like crying throughout the episode because like, now this like mini Goku is like, I mean, he's not Goku, but he was just, continuing his adventure by himself, and I just thought that was so sad. So, yeah, not a great robo trip experience. But now going back to this new age way of hallucinating on medicine. Now people are cooking chicken and NyQuil, and yeah, not a good idea. It's stupid. I mean, it's like whatever happened to like, oh, it's not hurting anyone. Like these people are doing shit that is fucking hurting them. And yeah, like now now the FDA is warning, warning people like this could potentially lead to death. All right. Um, and I saw, where is it? Because like, you got to think too, right? When you're heating something, like especially like this shit, like when you're heating it, you're fucking like, you're like you're triggering all the like all the chemicals and shit that's in it. Um, so it kind of like amplifies the whole thing. So so yeah, and it looks like I'm trying to find the I have the article here, and I'm trying to find like some of the side effects that this could cause with the NyQuil. Um, yeah, like overdosing on NyQuil can cause symptoms such as seizures, severe dizziness, liver problems, and breathing problems. And that's just a few. But yeah, it's just so stupid that these things continue to happen. I mean, we had the fucking the cinnamon challenge, right? People were getting fucked up with that. The Tide Pod eating one, right? Didn't like weren't kids like dying from that shit? And then you got that crate challenge where people were like creating they were building like the pyramid with crates, and they would have to like try to run up to the top without falling, but people were just the shit would collapse as they're running up it, and they're like landing on their backs on the crates and shit. Like that's a like I never like watched like the whole thing. I would just see like the screen cap of it. I'm just like, man, because like I've had back problems, and just like the thought of like landing on your back on a pile of crates, like just thinking about those corners, those edges, not good, not good. So this is why humans are stupid, and we are fortunate to have a such a popular social media platform to peer pressure these dumbasses to partake in this trend. And I don't know, man. You know what? Fuck it. Go ahead, do it. There's a lot of goddamn people on this planet. Maybe we need to, what's the what's that meme that goes around? Like Thanos was right. Like, yeah, maybe he was right. Fucking people are stupid. Um, I'm just want to see a little bit more of this thing. So when you cook cough medicine like NyQuil, you boil off the water and alcohol in it. So that's what I was trying to say. But I'm bad with words. But yeah, when you boil it, boil off the water and alcohol, leaving chicken saturated with a super concentrated amount of drugs in the meat. So yeah, don't cook your chicken in NyQuil. It's so fucked up, right? Because like we got homelessness, we got people starving, and like here we are just like wasting food. Like honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like that shit, when I'm seeing like these trends, these things that people do with food that go to waste, like they're literally wasting food for these things. And I'm just like, well, like I grew up with the saying, it's like, oh, you're not gonna eat that. There's poor people in Nigeria. There's poor people in China. Like there's somebody on the other side of the world that would fucking kill for this shit. You know, and here we are wasting chicken. You know, over. We're contributing more and more into the plastic pollution, right? Like, I mean, you know, not that this is about plastics, but like we do these trendy things where ultimately we're fucking up our planet and our people. There was a quote that I heard. Of course I don't remember who said it, but essentially what they said was that and I posted on my Facebook. It's like we are the only species that hold on, let me find it. Okay, here we go. I found it. We're the only species that creates environments that actually hurt us. Facts. Yeah, man. Yeah, fucking. I I don't know. That's all I gotta say. In regards to this stupid challenge. Like, don't. Like I was joking before when I said, yeah, go ahead, do the, partake in the challenge. Eliminate the dummies from our species. But honestly, like, don't fucking do it. It's so stupid. Don't do it. Right. Moving on. Uh I should say, my wife and I are going away for our 4-year wedding anniversary. Um, which is pretty wild to think like 4 years had passed. But until to be a little more transparent, to let or the new audience members know, like, my wife and I have been together since high school. We're high school sweethearts. So even though we've been married for 4 years, we've actually been together for 17 years total. So it's yeah, it's pretty wild. And I am glad I am not on the market, because I can't even imagine what it's like to be a bachelor in this game right now with all the apps, all the just all the deceit that come with the platforms. Um, it's just wild. I remember hearing, when I was listening to, I forget what podcast, but saw some chick went on a blind date, or yeah, scheduled a blind date with some guy, and she got stood up, and because she got stood up, she tried suing the guy for, like, I don't know, like $10,000 or something, something crazy amount, because she was traumatized, uh because she had to sacrifice her time to visiting her sick mother or something, to go to this date, and then come to find out she was being stood up. And I'm like, what? So, like, you sort of had plans to go visit your mom, but instead decided to pursue this blind date, which you ended up getting stood up, and now you're traumatized from that, I guess, because of all the hard decision making you had to make prior to that date. And here we are. You're now suing this guy. Like, that's fucking dumb. Like, I swear. Again, humans are fucking stupid. Oh god. But anyway, that's why I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed to be to still be with my wife. And yeah, I'm glad to we're going away for a week. We're hitting up North Carolina. And yeah, we haven't had a real vacation since COVID, really. Um, when we had, like, our sort of like our dating anniversary, which was back in April, we had a small getaway for a weekend. We didn't go that far. We actually just ended up staying in Charlottesville for a weekend. And that was still nice. It was relaxing, but now we get a whole week, and hell yeah. And I'm really excited because there's a couple things that we've got planned, and which I want to say, my wife is awesome at planning things for vacations, because she does all the planning. I'm really bad at it. And I mean, sure, I'm lazy. I'm lazy when it comes to, like, what should we do? Let's, like, check out all these things that we can do. But it's really a financial thing, because my wife is the primary provider. I'm the fucking deadbeat, you know, struggling artist, piece of shit husband. So I don't know. Like, we still have separate bank accounts. So I feel bad. I don't know. Like, I feel weird. Like, if I was planning things for a vacation, and I'm, like, spending all of her money, basically. So I'm, like, spending just spending money on reservations and whatnot. Like, I don't know. it's like she's the one that earned that money. I don't want to say she should do all that, but I mean, like, it gives me a little more comfort that she makes the plans and spends the money that she earned herself. Because that's sort of my logic there. I grew up. I was brought up that as a man, as a cis male, we should be the providers. And it's clearly not that way anymore, right? So I still have a hard time kind of breaking out of that, you know, out of that mindset. Um, but yeah, like I will say, like, anytime, like, if I were to spend her money, like, I don't even like saying our money. So like, if like there's something that I really need, like I'm still hesitant on asking her to help me pay for, whatever it is I need, whether it's for, supplies, and it's usually like for the business. Like, sometimes I just don't have enough money, especially right now. But yeah, I if I'm gonna spend her money, I'm I, I want to make sure that I'm spending it on us. So, like, if she's paying for something, if money's coming out of her account, it's because I'm stepping out to grab some groceries or something for both of us, for our home. If I need to make, you know, business purchases or anything like that, I try to make sure I can I can, save enough money, make enough money to pay for that stuff, so that she doesn't have to invest in on my business. Um, so yeah. But anyway, we're hitting up North Carolina, and as far as I can remember, uh, we're we're doing we're doing like this salt bath with a CBD, full spectrum CBD infused salt bath, which sounds super exciting. And the one thing I want to point out is that usually on vacations, like that's like the one week where I don't smoke any weed. Primarily because then you couldn't travel with it. Now it's like becoming recreationally legal, uh like almost virtually everywhere here. So you know I didn't have to feel like I can't smoke weed during vacation, which it's just ironic because, like, I actually look forward to vacations because I'm not going to smoke weed. It's a nice, it's a very convenient way to detox. Because when I try to detox when at home here, man, it's fucking rough, man. Like I'm very moody. So it's so much easier to detox for a while when we're away from home, away from all the, regular day-to-day stress, you know. But yeah, it's I mean, so it's not gonna be a completely marijuana free vacation, but yeah, this day on, I don't know when, but when we do go on this salt bath, there's no doubt in my mind that it's going to be relaxing. Um, Although I also want to do this during the bath because I mean, this kind of actually contradicts the whole, like, detox and wanting to be a little more sober during the week. But I figured, hey, we're going away. Um, One of my best friends, Vanessa, shout out to Vanessa, when she visited this summer, she she hooked me up with these Brazilian mushrooms, and it's been completely sealed since. I haven't taken any of it, and I'm like, shit, maybe I should take the shrooms when we're on vacation. Like, this seems to be the perfect time for it, and even more so because now we're doing this salt bath. So I can't imagine negative side effects from doing shrooms while doing this bath. So hopefully it'll it'll be a positive experience overall. I'm really hoping for just to regain some clarity because again, I mean, I personally I just been so stressed out with work and finances and stuff, and I'm always just finding myself back at the point of burnout and all that. So this vacation is super necessary. So yeah, I'm just gonna. I don't know how much is actually in the seal because it's like vacuum sealed, so it looks like there's only a little bit in there. I don't know if it's like grinded up or anything. Um, so I don't think there's like a whole eighth in there, but whatever the case being, depending how much is actually in there when I open it, I might just take half of what she gave me, or maybe I'll take the whole thing and just fucking go all in. We'll see. And I can't wait to share the experience with you guys when we're back from vacation. Um, oh, actually, also another thing I'm really excited about vacay is that uh Nicole, she booked I don't know if she actually booked it. I don't know if this was something you had to book, but we're planning to do a mansion tour. Um and I'm gonna say, if this mansion is, I mean, well, we're in the South, right? We're gonna be in the South. So if this mansion's got it has history of having, slaves and servants, I am whipping my phone out and I'm just gonna take random photos, maybe some videos, in the hopes that I might capture something. That's right. Maybe I'll capture a shadow figure or some mysterious like mist or something, Uh yeah, I don't know. Because few years back, we went to Rhode Island and we did a mansion tour at the Breakers home, and it was this huge fucking house, this huge mansion, and they had servants there, and it was wild because we're doing a tour. It was like one of those like you had the headphones, right? You're listening to the audio, the tour guide, and they had like the servants had their own like secret like hallways that they can walk through in that house. um and it would like lead to like their small little bedrooms and stuff like that. It was pretty crazy. And looking back, I'm like, fuck, maybe there were ghosts there because I just, it's like I'm addicted to ghost videos. And yeah, anytime when you're on a piece of land or in a property that has dark history, that shit is guaranteed to have some sort of apparition or some mysterious finding, signs of the unresting spirits from the other side. So I don't know. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna capture something, and anything that whatever I record or take photos of, I just hope I can catch something. Uh, so yeah, I'm really excited about that. Um, I actually don't know what else we're doing for the rest of the week, but whatever. I'm just, as long as we're away and we're just relaxing and then just enjoying our time together, and going sightseeing, trying out the food out there. Like I'm just, hell yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for vacation. Um, and that's about it. That's all I got for you for right now. Um, I do wanna I do want to close by saying thank you to all the new YouTube subscribers. Since I've gotten back into my channel, because like I've had my channel for what, since I think it was 2014. Um, yeah, I think it was 2014. Yeah, since I've gotten back on there and started posting the podcast on there, I've been gaining more subscribers, and I really appreciate the support. And it really goes to show, like, people enjoy podcasts on YouTube than on audio platforms. I mean, that's my assumption, because I always, every week, I'll check in with the stats and see how well, if there's any growth on my platforms. And I always check back with Spotify, and it's been the same since, I don't even know. So I mean, people are still tuning in on that app, but the followers, it's been the same. So I'm just assuming it's the recurring, the people that are coming back. Again, I appreciate you for coming back. But yeah, again, thank you guys for your YouTube subscriptions. And if you are subscribing solely for the podcast, I would like to implore you to check out some of the other content, the art content that I post on there. It had slowed down because I've just been so consistent. Like, I built so much work for the podcast. Like, I'm always logging episodes and recordings. I've always got shit to edit. So, podcast is a lot more consistent than the art, like, videos that I put together. But I will. I think I just, like, wheezed. Yeah, but I'm surely I will get back on that grind with with the art creative videos. But yeah, please peruse through the other the other videos that I put up there, other than the Rated G podcast. All right. Also, please, I would love to hear any input. If you got comments, questions, suggestions, anything like that, please leave it in the comment section. I would love to hear you out. Even if it's like constructive criticism, if it's harsh, I don't care. Just leave a comment, please. I would love to hear your input. And also share it with your friends and fam, people that you think may be interested on my type of content. And yeah, that's about it. And since I kind of went on like a rant about my financial struggles, I want to announce that I am available for small commissions. So the sizes that are included with that is sketch cards, which are 2.5 by 3.5 inches, 5 by 7 inches, and 9 by 12 inches. So, yeah, that's what I'm making available. So, holidays are coming up. Their birthdays, anniversaries, or all sorts of special occasions that happen. So, if you or someone that would like to commission some artwork for a gift or anything like that, or just for purely for decor, please send them my way. And yeah, that's about it. So again, if you've been tuning in, thank you for joining me. Thank you for hearing me out, going off on my rants. And yeah, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay aware. And if you yourself are an artist or a creator, keep on creating, keep on inspiring with your work. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.